Hello, Paisanos, it's Ian63. I finally finished playing God of War Sons of Sprata. Here is my review and my final thoughts on it. So, God of War Sons of Sprata, if you don't know, basically is a 2D platforming metroidvania game that's meant to be a prequel to the original God of War 1 on the Sony PlayStation 2. And yeah, of course, credit goes to, of course, MK Ice and Fire for this amazing, gameplay footage. And yeah, so obviously, I'm going to be turning down the volume and stuff. But yeah, just a bit of heads up. This game is only available on the PlayStation 5, exclusively only on digital. I don't think there was any physical copy yet, but there might be soon, maybe some months later. But onto the game itself. I can definitely feel very heavy, like Aladdin on both the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis, and also Blasphemous 1 and 2, and Vernal Edge, because that's what this game really reminds me of, and that's what I'm already loving about it. And also some parts of Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, this forest really reminds me of that. So, as I can tell, the gameplay is obviously sort of like in between both the Greek and Norse series and stuff. It has, obviously, the gameplay violence of the Greek trilogy, just a bit toned down because, well, Kratos is a kid and stuff. But when you get to this crafting part, that's where it's borrowing stuff from the Norse trilogy. And another thing where they borrow from the I didn't meant to say trilogy, duology, Norse duology. Another thing where they borrow from the Norse duology is the story and bondship. Since in the Greek there was story, but it was mostly about violent, brutal, ripping gods gameplay and stuff and defeating Triune. But yeah, but this part right here where, they go up on this elevator, it's a very simple, but I really like this where Diamos, I don't know how to pronounce this, so I'm just gonna call him DS. No, let me see. I'm gonna call him EM. So DE basically bonds with both Kratos and DE. Both basically are both like connecting with each other and stuff. And this part right here, obviously, when you get this new ability from him, really, in my opinion, really captivated me and really started to make me understand fully. And of course, the music once again is atmospheric and gorgeous. I just do wish they lean more on the Greek trilogy music and stuff, or the more action, violent, brutal music and stuff, since this is a prequel to that game and stuff. But I can understand why they would go for the Norse style music, because it does feel more atmospheric fitting, like the snow stage and stuff. And yeah. So overall, I think the weapon system was really great to use all types of weapons. This one right here, the Thunder Barb, this is the one I use the most, honestly, and it's really dang good. And the way how you really attack and kill enemies really feels great. And the platforming, this is where I say it reminds me a lot of Aladdin by Capcom for Super Nintendo, and Aladdin on Sega Genesis by Virgin Games. Because I really get a lot of that similarities and stuff. And also combined with Blasphemous, where you run into this interconnected Metroidvania world and stuff, and yeah. And this boss, against, this God Horse and stuff, I forgot his name. Yeah, that was dope and badass. And like I said, I think the story was really great. It definitely connects well with the gameplay, the whole idea about bonding and stuff, and yeah. And finally, we get to the ending and stuff, and this is the best part, since finally this will lead up to the events of the original God of War 1. And yeah, well, the original God of War Greek trilogy and stuff, and yeah. And yeah. It has no words, just action. And that's honestly what I love in a video game, when they explain the story by action and movement. Hence to explain why I loved Hyper Light Drifter so much, since they explain it only with action and no story or talking at all. Same thing with this. I really love this a lot. Yeah, this scene really made me sad and stuff. And here he is! Zeus, your son has returned! Okay, I'm so sorry for that cringe. I just could not help it. But, oh my god, I can't believe we're hearing the OG Kratos voice actor. How long has it been? Like, freaking what? 15 to 16 years? Jesus Christ, man. Where did that time go? But here's Kratos and stuff. I just want Kratos just to rage and yell and stuff. But, obviously, this is his more calmer time and stuff before Ares tricks him to killing his family. But yeah, like I said, it's a great prequel story, and I really like this. And finally, the game ends there. I really love this flute. And there we go. That's it. God of War Sons of Sparta. So overall, my final review on this game would definitely be, if I had to give it a number rating though, now I don't give it a 10 out of 10 obviously, because I don't think it isn't a perfect game. It does have some flaws. And it can be a bit conflicting if it's trying to be either the Greek or the Norse. But it's still a great, well designed and well, done product that's really a full complete package of fun gameplay, gorgeous story that's emotional, really atmospheric music that's so calming, but also very intense and violent. And finally, the graphics and aesthetics look amazing and stuff. And the Metroidvania interconnected world was very fun to explore. Not on the Silk Song level of exploring, but still a great way to explore and stuff. And finally, yeah, that's my review and stuff. Wait, there's still more parts here, but yeah, pretty much. But anyways, that's God of War Sons of Sprata. So my final score rating, finally, for this game would be 8 out of 10. That's going to be my final rating of this game. I definitely think it was really great. I definitely enjoyed it. But it's not like a masterpiece level in my opinion. But it's still great. No, don't get fooled by what I said though. I still recommend you still play this. Honestly, it's not like beyond level of excitement and stuff. But I would say it's still like must play and stuff because of just how great it is and how simple it was. It's obviously, yes, the actual God of War games, like the ones developed by Sony themselves, like the Greek and Norse games. Yeah, I know they're obviously better. But, it's very nice to have a very fun game made by a third party and stuff who shows their love for God of War and stuff, and I definitely enjoy it. So, yeah, that's my review on God of War Sons of Sprata and stuff. It's not a perfect game, but it's still a great, well-done game, in my opinion, from start to finish. From, graphics, music, story, and gameplay, and yeah. But overall, 8 out of 10 for God of War Sons of Sprata. Alright, guys, this is E3, and that's overall my review on God of War Sons of Sprata. This is E3 saying one final goodbye, and farewell, God of War Sons of Sprata.